Picture this. It's June 25th, 1974, and a San Francisco bar is buzzing with disco beats. Joseph Stevens, a 27-year-old drag queen, is in his element, sparkling under neon lights, laughing with friends, cocktail in hand. Then this guy slides into the booth next to him. He's tall, lanky, maybe 20, wearing a navy watch cap. He's sketching, his pencil moving fast, and he hands Joseph a portrait of himself. It's so perfect, it's eerie. The guy smiles, all charm. "Want to take a walk?" he asks, voice smooth as silk. Joseph nods, follows him out into the night. Hours later, Joseph's lying in Golden Gate Park, cold, lifeless, 5 stab wounds to his chest. 5. This is the Doodler, a killer who draws his victims before luring them to their deaths. 6 confirmed kills, maybe 14. And here's the chilling part. He's still out there, a shadow that never got caught. Who's hiding behind those sketches? How does a guy like this just vanish? If this kind of nightmare hooks you, hit that subscribe button, because we're diving deep into one of San Francisco's darkest mysteries. San Francisco in the 70s was a wild place. It was a city where dreams collided with danger. The Castro district was a haven for the LGBTQ+ community, a place to dance, love, be yourself. But the world outside those streets, not so kind. Just a year earlier, in 1973, being gay was finally taken off the list of mental disorders, but society still judged. Hard. Coming out could cost you your job, your family, even your safety. People lived double lives. Joseph Stevens was a star on stage, a drag queen who owned the spotlight, but off it, he was quiet, almost invisible. Gerald Kavanaugh, 49, was a desk worker, sneaking out to bars for a taste of freedom. Klaus Christmann, 31, had a wife and kids back in Germany, but he hid secret trips to the city's nightlife. Frederick Capon, 32, a Vietnam vet turned nurse, carried war's weight in his solitude. Harold Goldberg, 66, a retired sailor, wandered alone, chasing old memories. And then there was the guy with the pencil. Young, maybe 20, tall, black, always in that navy watch cap. He'd show up in bars, sketching faces with a smile that made you trust him. But what was he hiding? I mean, come on. In a city built on freedom, something sinister was brewing. It all started on January 27th, 1974. Ocean Beach was freezing, the Pacific roaring under a moonless sky. Gerald Kavanaugh's body was found sprawled on the sand, his chest torn open by stab wounds. His hands were scratched, bruised, like he'd fought hard to live. The night before, he'd been at a bar in the Castro. This guy sat down, started sketching Gerald's face. Every line, every wrinkle, perfect. "Let's get some air," the stranger said. Gerald followed. He didn't come back. No fingerprints, no witnesses, just a body and a trail of questions. Okay, get this. 5 months later, it happened again. Joseph Stevens, that dazzling drag queen, had just finished a performance. He was laughing at a bar when the same guy showed up. Another sketch, another smile, another walk. By dawn, Joseph was dead in Golden Gate Park, 5 deep stab wounds in his chest. The scene was haunting, fog rolling in, his sequined jacket stained red. Nobody saw a thing. Or did they? July 7th, 1974. Klaus Christmann's body turned up at Ocean Beach. This one hit different. Klaus was a family man, an immigrant from Germany. But he had secrets. His throat was slashed, chest stabbed, and, here's the creepy part, a tube of lipstick was found in his pocket. Did it belong to him? Was it planted? Nobody asked too hard. Klaus had been at a club that night, met a guy who sketched his face and followed him into the dark. 3 deaths. Same pattern. Then came Frederick Capon, May 12, 1975. A Vietnam vet, quiet, tough, but even he fell for the sketch. His body was found at Ocean Beach, stabbed to death. Harold Gullberg, 66, turned up in June 1975 near Lincoln Park's golf course. Throat cut, pants undone, underwear gone. And Warren Andrews, 52, was attacked at Land's End on April 27, 1975. He was beaten, stabbed, left in a coma. He died 7 weeks later. In 2022, police confirmed him as the 6th victim. 6 bodies, maybe 14 total. 3 guys survived attacks, and their stories were chilling. A tall black guy, young, sketching their faces, charming them into the night. But none would talk. Why? Back then, coming forward as a gay man could ruin you. Jobs, families, lives, gone. Fear kept them silent. Here's the wild part. The Doodler's method was his calling card. He'd sit in bars like the Stud or Toad Hall, pencil flying, drawing portraits that flattered his targets. It was intimate, almost romantic. He'd chat, laugh, offer a walk to clear their heads. Then he'd lead them to quiet places, Ocean Beach's dunes, Golden Gate Park's shadows, Land's End's cliffs. Always a knife, always the chest or throat, precise, vicious. But why these men? Was it hate, control, or something deeper, like he was wrestling with his own demons? Some say he targeted men who lived openly what he couldn't. Others think he was just a predator, picking a community society ignored. The Castro was a refuge, but it was also his hunting ground. And nobody seemed to notice, or maybe they did, and looked the other way. By 1975, the killings were a pattern, but San Francisco had bigger headlines. The Zodiac Killer, the Zebra Murders, they stole the spotlight. A gay serial killer? Not a priority. The police had a suspect by 1976, a young black man, 19 to 25, tall, slim, a regular in the bars. They brought him in, questioned him. He was smooth, cooperative, but his story kept changing. One minute he was at a club, the next he was home. No hard evidence, no witnesses willing to testify, so they let him go. Hold up. Let him go? 3 survivors could have named him. One was a famous entertainer, another a diplomat. But they stayed quiet, terrified of being outed. Even Harvey Milk, the activist, got why they wouldn't talk. A doctor in the East Bay said the suspect confessed in therapy, admitted to the killings, but confidentiality and no proof meant nothing happened. The police had sketches of the guy from 1975, even updated one in 2019 to show what he might look like now. Still, no name, no arrest. How does a killer stand right there and walk away? The missed clues are infuriating. That lipstick on Klaus Christmann? Why was it there? Nobody dug into it. The survivors' stories matched perfectly, but the police didn't push. The suspects' alibis were flimsy, full of holes, yet no one pressed harder. The Castros' distrust of cops didn't help. Years of raids and harassment meant witnesses stayed quiet, scared of betrayal. By September 1975, the killings stopped. Did the Doodler move on, die, or just stop? The city barely noticed, too caught up in the AIDS crisis by the 80s. The case went cold, buried under bigger stories. Now, fast forward to 2023. The San Francisco Police Department's still on it. They've bumped the reward to $250,000 for any tip leading to an arrest, up from $100,000 in 2019. New DNA tech like the kind that nailed the Golden State Killer, is their big hope. But here's the catch. The old evidence is degraded, maybe too messy to use. Detectives like Tom Newland and Dominic Salaya are combing through dusty files, chasing a break. True crime fans on X are buzzing. Posts from June 2025 talk about DNA breakthroughs, maybe a distant cousin's profile cracking it open. But is it enough? The families of Joseph Stevens, Gerald Kavanaugh, and the others still wait, their pain frozen in time. This isn't just a case, it's a scar. The Doodler didn't just kill, he toyed with his victims, used their trust against them, and banked on society's indifference. Those sketches weren't just bait, they were a taunt, like he was saying, "I see you and no one else will." If you know anything, call the SFPD Cold Case Unit at 415-553-1145 or email the Doodler line at gmail.com, case number 1974-1975. Think about it. Is this guy still out there, living quietly, his pencil long retired? Or is justice finally closing in? Drop your theories in the comments, hit like, subscribe, keep these stories alive. This nightmare's not over. Will we ever know who hid behind those sketches?